Today we're going to be working in Lesson 19 of our book, dealing with backgrounds. Also, we're going to be dealing with slideshow settings. Now, many of the items that we're going to be doing today are review, so you do want to pay attention because we are going to be moving rather quickly during some of these review items. We're going to go back over slides from an outline, resetting slides. Those are items we've talked about before. But after we've done that, we're going to talk a little bit about background graphics. We're going to show you how to hide the background graphics, as well as how to add background graphics to your slideshow. We are going to create a custom slideshow and add some transitions, which we've done before. And then we're going to take a look at how to set up a show. The two items specifically that we're going to deal with in the setup show settings is how to set your custom show that we've created earlier to be the default setting. So when you start your slideshow, it automatically starts the custom show. Also, we're going to show you how to browse at a kiosk, which means to set your slideshow to happen automatically, to advance, and to cycle. Now we're going to need to open the files. So we're going to go in our book to page 970. Page 970. Now on this page, we don't want to open the first file. That's actually a Word document. We're going to open up the PowerPoint file, the second one that you see here. We're going to save this file to our Documents folder, specifically placing it in a folder with today's date. If you don't have a folder with today's date, use the New Folder button. With the file open, we're going to first insert some slides from Outline. So going to the New Slide button, we're going to come down to Slides from Outline. We're going to navigate to the desktop, Class Files, IIT, PowerPoint, and Chapter 3. The file that we're going to import is P19 Try A. I click the file and choose Insert, and that will bring that Word document in as multiple slides. Looking on slide 1, you will notice that the font is this TW Sen MT. But if you look at the font on these imported slides, it's not. So what we want to do is we want to make these imported slides look like the regular slide. For that, we will use the Reset button. So on slide 2, I click Reset, slide 3, Reset, and slide 4, Reset. So slides 2, 3, and 4, we've used the Reset button. Let's go to slide 1. I want to take a look at the background images and colors of a slide. In this particular section, we're going to go to the Design tab. Once on the Design tab, you will see that there are various themes, and each theme will typically have different variants. If you click the drop down on the list of variants, you can see that there are different options that you can choose when setting up your themes. In this case, what we're going to do is actually modify not the different variants, but the background styles, the colors of the backgrounds that are used. And so what we're going to do is we're going to click on this Format Background option. A graphic or a picture has been used in this particular theme. on my title slide. And so here on slide 1, I may wish to hide that background graphic. So I'm going to check Hide Background Graphic. The other thing I want to do is change the color of the background. Instead of using this plain white, we're going to choose a teal color. So we're going to go to the Color drop-down, find Teal Accent 6 on the right-hand side, come down a couple items until it says Teal Accent 6 Lighter 60%. That'll add the teal color. Notice at this point it's only being applied to the first slide. So I'm going to click Apply to All, and that will change all the slides to that teal color. The next thing I want to do is I'm going to actually add my own picture in. I'm going to click on the Picture or Texture fill. Notice it brings in a texture. We're going to access a picture of our own. So we're going to click Online. In the Bing image search, we're going to type in Helping Hands and do a search. The picture I'm looking for are these two hands. If for some reason it doesn't show up, try clicking on the Show All Web Results. So I'm going to click on this picture of the two hands. Click Insert. That adds that graphic as a background to the first slide. Now the one problem with this particular graphic, notice how it hides some of the text. Well, I can't really, although I could move this graphic a little bit using these offsets. What I want to do is I want to lighten the graphic. So I'm going to set my transparency. I could use my up and down arrows to do that. I can also use my slider for larger differences. The actual amount that we're going to do this is 70%. So set the transparency of the image to 70%, which makes the text much easier to read even with the graphic in place. Now this is only going to be applied to the first slide, so I'm not going to use the Apply to All here, but I am done with my formatting of the background, so I can close this out. Reminding you where we found that, under the Design tab, Variants, clicking the drop down, I can go into my background styles, or if I want to go directly to the task pane, I can use the Format Background button over here. The next thing I want to do is I wish to set up a custom show. So we're going to go to the slideshow, create a custom show, create a new show, and the slides that are going to be on this custom show are slides 1, 6, and 7. So I'm adding slides 1, 6, and 7 to my custom show. And on the slide name, the slideshow name, we're going to call this Brief, B-R-I-E-F, Show. And I click OK. I'm not going to actually show this show right now, so I'm going to close out of the custom show. I want to make a few modifications to all the slides. The modification I want us to make is a transition. Go ahead and pick a transition of your choice. Doesn't matter to me which one you pick, so pick a transition of your choice. But I do want to advance the slide after 3 seconds. So I'm going to set my after setting here to 3 seconds. And I am going to apply this to all slides. Going back to the Slideshow tab, I'm now ready to deal with some new content that we haven't looked at before. Let's take a look at the Setup Show option. In the Setup Show dialog box, one of the things that we can do is to specify which slides to show. If you want to show slides that are continuous, for example, if I only wanted to show slides 2, 3, and 4, I could set that up right here, or I could say show slides 2 through 4. And I wouldn't need to set up my custom show. But the reason I set up my custom show is because I wanted to show slides 1, 6, and 7. They are not continuous. So I created my custom show, so I can, through this setup show option, set up my brief show as the default setting so that when I start my slideshow, it'll automatically begin the custom show. Also, if I do not wish somebody to interfere with my show, I can use this Browsed at Kiosk setting. What this is going to do is it's going to automatically advance my show from slide to slide. Now the catch on this is you do need to have your show automatically set to advance from slide to slide. Otherwise, it's going to stop in the middle of the show and not continue. Notice the loop continuously until escape is checked but grayed out. That's because the kiosk setting was selected. When you say browse at kiosk, the show will automatically advance. No user intervention is allowed, meaning you can't press any keys on the keyboard to make any difference. The only key on the keyboard that will respond is the escape key, and that will close you out of the show. I click OK. Now, I'm going to go to slide 3. Slide 3 is not in my custom show. Watch what happens when I start my slideshow. Coming down to my slideshow button, I'm going to click on slideshow. And notice that it begins with slide 1. Also, it advances automatically to slide 6 and then to slide 7. Also note that it has repeated back to slide 1. This is another feature of the kiosk setting. It will automatically loop, and it will continue to loop until I press the escape key. I'm pressing the escape key to stop the slideshow. Go ahead and save your file. This concludes this particular lesson. In this presentation, we did several review items. We brought some slides in from the outline and reset those slides. We then showed you how to hide those background graphics using the Design tab, and then how to add a different background graphics if you wish to change the graphics that were used. We created a custom show and we added transitions, which we've talked about before, but then we went into the Setup Show on the Slideshow ribbon tab and showed you how to create a custom show as the default setting and how to browse at a kiosk so that you could set your PowerPoint up to run automatically for something like a presentation that you might put on a tabletop that is unattended by yourself.